As a black man in America, because of stereotypes, there's a couple things I can't do or I'ma look suspicious. Wear hoodies at night. Oh my gosh, it's a thug. Look around in gas stations for more than 5 seconds. Good golly, he's a thief. And the primary one, so much as breathe around cops. Did I just catch you trying to breathe oxygen around me, boy? Ah! Yeah, and the list goes on. And what I learned was the worst thing you could do in each of those situations, unless they pull out the blicky, is overthink and freak the freak out, which was the one thing that happened a couple years ago that almost got me into some deep doo-doo. Let me explain. All right, so 6 years ago, back in freshman year of college, at the end of the second semester, I went back home. That means no more parties, no more eaters, and no more getting high off of life. And when I got back home, I met up with my homies and this girl from the past named Ann. A lot of y'all from my OG channel know who Ann is. A lot of y'all don't. And that's okay, because I'm gonna give you a short description. She was a little thotty with a slight body yaddy that was not the brightest, but she loved living the fast life, which was weird because why are you hanging out with us? We're the opposite of living the fast life. Like what? I'd known her since high school. At the time of this story, we were both the same age and lived with our parents, but we were both going down 2 separate paths of living. Now, I'm gonna be honest, when it came to hanging out with her, she was a liability, not an asset. Something always went wrong when I was around her. That's why I only hung out with the bit once every blue moon whenever one of my homies in my circle wanted her to come, which happened to be the day I came back from the semester. That and I only hung out with her when it was my turn. Me and my brother hit up the homies to hang out. One of them asked if she could come because it was his turn. We all asked our parents if we could stay out longer than usual. Ours said yes. Her mom said no. So she asked her dad instead. He said yes and teamed up with her by distracting her mom in the bedroom so she could leave. Ooh-wee. Y'all gonna know by the end of the story why this backfired. Hard. We all decided to go to the lake, which was located at the end of a trail inside the woods down the street from our old high school. We all had fun for a couple hours, bada bing boop pow. Next thing we know, nightfall started creeping up, so we went back to the parking lot out front to chill at the car. Now this when the game changed. As we outside chilling, listening to some anime openings and some Tyler the Creator, we see a couple cars go by. 1 car, 2 car, cop car. Me being who I am, when I see the Jakes, I let the full bubbly side of my personality come out and become focused on the inside instead of looking focused on the outside. Like naturally, around certain people, I'm already extra as hell, so it's easy for me to let it flash out like a harlot working the block, just so the Jakes won't assume I'm a Jaquavius or a Tyrone. Freaking stereotypes. Anywho, as the cop cars pass by, we tell everybody to act normal, cause we the only ones in the parking lot. What does Ann's stupid ass do? Runs back into the car right in front of them. We're all like, Ann, what the frick are you doing? We told you to relax. Now you're making us look suspicious. And I knew we were about to get packed up because the cop car that just passed by swerved back around and pulled into the parking lot. Bruh. I was sweating like R. Kelly at a playground. Literally 20 seconds later, another cop car pulled up, bruh. First cop get out and started walking towards us. Everybody know the drill, except Ann degenerate ass who kept spazzing out in the car. Like, I don't know why you're in there, sweetheart. This ain't Rick Sanchez's car. It ain't gonna protect you. He asking for our IDs, what we're doing out here in the wood trails for. Did we have that snuffy on us? All type of crap. And we're constantly reassuring him that we literally are just hanging out. Apparently, that wasn't enough for him, so he get to pressing us with maximum efficiency, trying to find any narco on us he could. Like, dude was on a mission to find that non-existent booger sugar. And whole time, I ain't take my eyes off of him for a second, just to make sure he didn't plant something in our car to frame us. He flashlighting around our entire car 3 times, flashlighted our tires, patted us down, then opened the door, flashlighted the back of the car, even found a burger wrapper on the floor that my homeboy ate from Five Guys earlier, and swore up and down that this was a narco that I ain't even know existed. He talking about, does this wrapper contain 3D F-34 McDonald's Subway? I'm like, nah, but it does contain BEEF. And he got offended. So offended that he called over his boy. But lo and behold, the guy he called over was a guy me and my brother used to work with at our old fast food job. We're not gonna call him by his real name. We're gonna call him Jeremy. He like, what's all to come up? Oh, Is that Devonte and T? Long time no see, dudes. Bruh, I wiped the sweat off my brow because it was somebody we actually knew. Ooh-wee. Look at God. After we caught up with Jeremy, the first cop told him that he'd been searching for that Snuffy on us. Jeremy saved our ass by telling bro to relax, cause we ain't them type of guys. So the first cop let his guard down. Next thing I know, Ann get out the car. He see her, see him, see her. He like, Ann, the frick you doing here? Your mama know you out past 12 a.m. Cause he knew her mama, who was an officer or office ma'am. Yeah. So Ann's like, yeah. He like, oh, all right then. Turns around and calls her mom. And start freaking out even more. He telling the mama how he ran into her and how she's safe, etc. But Ann's mama wasn't with it, cause she told her she couldn't go out tonight, leaving Jeremy confuzzled. Mama tells him she on the way, hangs up. 15 minutes later, and dad and mom pull up. She start cussing Ann out all in Korean, which me and one of my homeboys knew exactly what she said, because besides him, I had hella Korean friends growing up and watched hella K-dramas in the past. My favorite is Oh My Ghost and Splash Splash Love, just throwing that out there. She asking us who we were because she ain't never seen us before, and while we were with her daughter, we told her we were just friends. And whole time, Pop's just sitting there not saying a mother freaking word. Kept his mouth air sealed shut, cause he knew exactly who the culprit was for letting her go out in the first place when her mama told her no. And looking at him like, you not gonna say nothing? And you're right, he didn't. If you think for a second that he was finna snitch on himself, you thought wrong. Which, I mean, that's how a lot of humans work. When adversity hits some of us, we tend to save ourselves. He could have took accountability here, but he didn't. Shoot, both of them really, cause why would you go behind your mama back and ask your dad like, duh. Runs in the family, I see. Plus, I think he understood the wrath of old school Asian, Black, and Spanish mamas. That may be the leading factor why he kept his mouth shut. I don't know, just my speculation, but you're the man of the house, so nut up or shut up, nigga. And mama threw her butt in the car, grounded her for another 2 months, cause she did this before, and headed back to the crib. And as for us, we left. We were just happy we made it out unscathed. We ain't care about Ann's problem. We ain't have to. Cause one, that ain't got nothing to do with us. Two, she wasn't gang. She just hanged.
Hey, listen.
So I love anime. Die-hard anime fan. Love anime since I was a kid, before it was cool to like anime, and still to this day. Mainly because anime taught me many life lessons, makes me feel every emotion, plus the story and the characters from each show resonate with me in ways I can't explain. And since I'm a 90s baby, I grew up watching all types of 80s, 90s, and early 2000s and beyond anime growing up. Yeah, I done seen it all, bruh. The good side, the dark side, the really dark side, the weird side, and the really weird side of anime. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that one. Bro, touch grass. You can see it all over my shorts videos. I reference anime all the time on my long form videos. You could even see my anime posters on my wall. I only got like 4 posters up because I was too lazy to put the rest up. But it's fine, I'm gonna put the rest up later on. And real life swords from many anime in my house. Oh yeah, I gets down like that. Legal blicks ain't the only thing I collect. And to top it off, pause, 99% of my community, the Mellow Mafia, aka DTO, love anime too, which makes my job a whole lot more fun. People that don't watch anime like we do and wonder why we love it so much, you won't understand unless you try it out. If you're trying to get into anime though, start off with some good ones though, like Samurai Champloo, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Yu Yu Hakusho, Gurren Lagann, or even Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Y'all ain't ready for the ones that make us look bad. Regardless, anime can either bring people together or tear people apart, which is exactly the 2 situations I've been put in a bunch of times being in the anime community. One brought together moment in particular was last year with this girl I met at the bookstore, but not in the way you think we got brought together. Oh yeah, this was different. So one day, my older brother called me from his old job at the retro game store while he was on break to tell me that he had some old school game systems that I will probably be interested in buying for my office room at my house. Cause he knew I was big on collecting old school game consoles I grew up with and everybody before me grew up with. Gotta show little Johnny in the future the struggles of keeping my memory card safe, blowing on the game cartridge when the game would freeze, or wiping down the PlayStation 2 disc with alcohol when the system would freeze at the startup screen, you know? He said they got a Nintendo 64, a a Wii, a PSP, a Game Boy Advance, an Atari, a GameCube, a 3DS, a PlayStation Vita, Sega Genesis, Nintendo DS, a Sega Dreamcast, and a PlayStation 1 and 2. I told him, give me them all. I'm on my way. So I drive up there to get everything, then I leave back to the crib. But before I got back to the crib, I stopped by Books A Million to get some manga. As I'm walking to the bathroom before I get my books, I passed by this girl that had sapphire red locks, which instantly caught my eye, cause women with locks and froze are in my variety of women I'm a sucker for. Cause duh, they look nice, they're natural, and I got locks. So I walk over to Shawty, compliment her hair, ask for her name. She told me her name was, can't use her real name, we're just gonna call her Ruby. I said, oh snap, your name sound like someone from one of my favorite animes called Ruby. Her response was, I don't watch anime. My wee went from wow to which is fine, I guess. You don't gotta like it or watch it, but I just hate the fact that she missing out, bruh. She was one of them girls that watched freaking Euphoria basketball wise, which instantly made me want to freaking vomit, cause like, what? There's way better entertainment out there than whatever, bro. Anywho, so after holding in my piss for a good 30 minutes because I was conversing with her, Ruby actually turned out to be really mid. Her personality was okay. Her ability to hold a conversation was aight, which added to my wee wanting to go to sleep. The only thing that kept me talking to her was when she brought up the fact that she was really into basketball, which I used to be heavily into hooping back in high school. Not no more these days since my NBA dreams were cut short. Literally. It's fine though. I really could have been that guy shooting 3-pointers in the NBA like the sniper I am, but I let Curry have that, you feel me? I'm shooting 3-pointers at these women now and missing. Now, for some weird reason, Ruby was really hell-bent on 1v1ing me, which I took her up on her offer, even though I ain't played in years, under one condition. She had to try anime out first. And surprisingly, she agreed under another condition of her own. Her condition was that she and I watched anime for the first time together. I'm like, say less. I got my own place, so it wasn't nothing for me to agree. But this time, instead of going for the 3-point shot, I took the friendly approach. Yep, just two about to be friends, hanging out, watching anime. Yeah. So boom, the next day, I spent all day cleaning up my house because duh, whenever you got somebody coming over, regardless of the matter, you got to make sure your house clean. Not clean. If it smell like bounce that back in there, I'm cooked. I miss one dirt stain, it's wraps. She see one roach, I'm done. So later that evening, she make it to the crib. She looking around like the health inspector. I'm sweating bullets because I forgot to dust the house. But surprisingly, she ain't tripped about it, so I calm down. She go to the couch, I go to the kitchen, and right when I ask her if she's hungry, she interrupt me. She like, oh, you have a sword? Cause she saw my life-size version of Kirito's Elucidator sword sitting right next to my TV. Yes, it's real and very sharp. I'm like, yeah, I collect a little bit. I only get ones from my favorite anime though. She like, oh, you collect them? Interesting. Can I see more? I'm like, sure. So I took her to the office where I do all my YouTube business ventures, etc. Soon as she see my entire collection of weapons, my swords, my kunais, my shurikens, everything, she get like real quiet. Bruh, tell me why old girl did a full 180 in personality immediately. Her personality went from mid to mysterious real quick. She like, Devonte, I got something to confess. She picks up the katana, unsheathes it, and says, actually, I do watch anime. Nani? A lot. Oh, hell no! Bruh, my hands started shaking faster than a stripper the first day on the job. Not because I was mad, which I wasn't. I actually was relieved she watched anime and kind of turned on. But because I was nervous, because she was handling that sword like she knew what she was doing. I'm like, so why you said you didn't yesterday? She gonna hit me with the, I just wanted to see how you would react. What the is wrong with you? I ain't even have time to care about the reason behind the cap, because she kept swinging that sword like she knew what she was doing. The only thought running through my mind was, what she do on her spare time when she not watching anime? Cause she's swinging that sword like she preparing for Order 66. Like, dang, Hisoka, put down the lightsaber. She swung one time, made me jump. She swung 2 times, I'm sweating like an Egyptian slave. She spent the sword around her body, then swung 2 more times. I almost pissed my pants. I'm like, I think you do a little more than watch a lot of anime. She like, you might be right about that. Now I'm nervous. I'm like, look, that's sharp. If you gonna swing a blade, pick up a dull one, please. At least it'll hurt less if I get hit. And that's exactly what she did. She ain't even say nothing back. She just picked up 2 blades, checked if they were dull, confirmed it, then slid one of the blades over to me and said, pick it up. I'm like, did you just reference puss and pick it up? The little me's in my head was like, Mayday, Mayday, this woman is crazy. Like at that point, I knew she was dead serious about sparring with me, but I wasn't really rocking with it because I just wanted to chill. Like, bruh, I brought you over to watch anime, not enact it. She like, forget basketball. This is our 1v1 now.
I beg your pardon?
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
You're a victim.
Come on, are you gonna fight me or not? I knew this girl was about to cut my back meat off because she was swinging that sword like a samurai master, which was really cool, yet also terrifying in my eyes. But I risked it anyway because I kind of got competitive in the moment, and I thought to myself, what's the worst that could happen? Whoa, I didn't know you was swinging like that.
Nah, this what you want.
Wait. Oh!
Hey, listen.
All right, you're probably wondering, how did I get here? And why is this fine good looking but dangerous ovary have a sword to my throat? Well, this is your opportunity to pause the video, go watch part 1 and come back, but I'll do a little recap anyways. In part 1, I met this girl at the bookstore named Ruby. She looked delicious, so I had a conversation. Mid-conversation, she said she didn't watch anime, so I used that as an opportunity to invite her over to watch her first anime. Uh-oh, I fell for her trap card though, because turns out she does watch anime a lot, which she lied about to get a reaction out of me, and she also turned out to be very skilled with weapons, which was inspired by her love for anime, which I found out after she was swinging around my swords like Yoda off a perk 30. She challenged me to a sparring session, which I almost crapped my pants because it looked like she was gonna cut my back meat off. Now here we are, her standing over me, double cheeked up with a sword to my throat. You're all caught up. Welcome to part 2. Now, as she's towering over me, y'all, I couldn't tell if I was just toxic or tweaking, because even though she lied to me, tricked me for the memes, and challenged me, a novice, to a sparring match, knowing she'd destroy me, I let it slide, because I kind of liked it.
I beg your pardon?
What the is wrong with you?
What has this heifer done to me? Look, I know I was aiming to be just friends, but I never had a woman send me on that type of adrenaline rush before. And what made it even worse was the fact that immediately afterwards, she pulled the sword back, put her foot right next to my head, leaned over close to my face, and licked my face.
What was the reason? What was the reason?
Did I just get rizzed up in a violent way? Like, dang, Harley Quinn, at least take me on a dinner date first. Bruh, I thought to myself, this girl is weird. But I kind of like it. I might be going insane.
What the is wrong with you?
She got up, put my sword back, and left for the living room. Left me feeling some type of way. I couldn't tell. Pulled out my keys, asked her where she wanted to go. She said, I saw that frozen salmon in your freezer. I'm cooking it for us. I started to think this was all a dream. It's gotta be. Shorty went from Yorichi to Gordon Ramsay in the blink of an eye. Bruh, she was so unpredictable, and internally, I was loving every second of it. See, the thing is, I wanted to be just friends, but after this, the nigga in me wouldn't let that happen. The power pole in my pants started getting a mind of its own. She had me feeling like I was on the honey pack. You know how rock you gotta be to feel like you on the honey pack, bruh? My freaking Onyx from Pokemon was in my pants, dog. No diddy. You know the last time I had a woman cook for me? Harriet Tubman freed the slaves. Yeah, it's been that long, but don't worry. She didn't know, and she didn't need to know, because I controlled myself on the low, which was the most difficult thing I've had to do in my life. She cooked, we watched Gurren Lagann all night, she went home. Y'all know them 3 a.m. thoughts that you randomly have while looking at the ceiling in your bed sometimes? Yeah, bruh. Shawty had me feeling like LL Cool J. But crazy enough, the only thought running through my head was, dang, I need some more of that.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Next day go by, and my mind was still on Shawty Doo-Wop. All I could think about was that rush she gave me that turned me on and how I could get it again, but I was trying to fight it. Bruh, she became the crack I never thought I needed. And she was still under the assumption that I was just trying to be friends even after that whole debacle, because I played it off cool. But I'm sorry, sweetheart. You can't lick a man and not expect to get licked back. Most niggas would have probably called her weird and kicked her out the minute it happened, but I'm not niggas. Shoot, at this point, it seemed like me and SpongeBob had something in common that week, cause I was trying my hardest to fight the urge to call her up to come over again. I be editing, I don't need it. I be eating, I don't need it. I be in the shower, I really don't need it. The whole week, my mind was telling me no, but my meat was telling me yes. And you know what? I ain't afraid to say it. At the end of the week, I folded, bruh. I folded. And every single time for 7 days straight, the first thing she did is play with my swords and ask for a sparring match, ending off my beatdowns by teasing me, which I let slide cause I liked it.
What the is wrong with you?
Day 1, she licked my face. Day 2, she rubbed my arm. Day 3, she hugged me. Day 4, she got really close to my face and stared in my eyes. Day 5, she rubbed her fingers through my locks. Day 6, she rubbed my chest. Day 7, she rubbed all the hairs on my chinny chin chin. If you think for a second I was getting tired of this each day, hell no. I felt like Scooby getting a Scooby snack. Nigga, I felt like when your mom and dad give you a whooping and they cook you dinner afterwards. The routine was the same, because I guess she found someone that allowed it to happen. She whooped my behind, do something weird, to proceed to automatically flip her personality as if she has zero interest in me. Mind you, this the same girl that capped like she didn't watch anime to get a reaction out of me. Anywho, we'd get food, watch anime, she leaves. How I did not let my flesh take over and gave this woman a child, I don't know, because I was loving every second of each rush. And now that I think about it, me playing it off as if I wasn't sprung and her flipping her mood immediately kinda helped, not gonna lie. Like, bruh, y'all don't understand. On the inside, I was like, yes, sweet mama, yes! But on the outside, I was like, type shit. I left Ruby alone for 3 days to process everything that happened that past week. And again, she was the only thing on my mind. Usually, I just play it off like it was nothing and kept it inside the whole time. But on day 4, that's when the game changed. I decided to keep nothing inside. I wanted her to know I liked all that stuff she did. I let all my inner intrusive fantasies out. So this time when she came over, it went a little different. So peep game, we walk inside. First thing I do, I put on the jets. Felt like that nigga from My Hero, sprinted straight to the office. She walk in. Devon, pick it up. You're kidding, right? Pick it up. Devonte, are you okay? Pick it up, woman. Ah! You had enough? Lick me again. Huh? I ain't gonna lie, at that point, I wanted to dive in more than Trey Songz, but there wasn't no pull between them legs, so jumping in head first, I probably would have died. It got to a point where she started looking concerned, and I started getting bold and desperate. The cares I was gonna give were nowhere to be found. I'm like, well, are you gonna lick me, rub me, run your hands through my hair, do something? She just continued to look at me with a blank expression. Next thing I know, you doofus, I just did all that to see your reaction. She already told me the same thing during our first link. Now I had to hear it again? Are my emotions a game to you? I thought the bit liked me on the low. You smoking frog tip if you think I'm finna entertain anything from her after that. Bruh, I had the blankest, driest, stiffest, coldest expression on my face after hearing that. I'm talking about every ounce of hornball intrusive fantasies and crackhead energy flew right out the window. I started using my first head instead of my second this time. And I think she caught on because I didn't even need to say anything. My face spoke 1,000 words. She gonna play it off like we cool, talking about something. So, wanna watch some anime? Get out.
Hey, listen.
So, for the past year, I got back into working out. Sometimes. I'll admit it, I've been pretty lazy lately. I don't know why I be telling folks I work out every day like I used to. I just do it a lot now. I be on stream straight, capping out my cranium.
Yo, Devonte, you work out, bro?
Yeah, a lot.
You got some big old beefy arms, gang?
Which is crazy because 5 months ago, I was pumping iron, pushing my body to the brink of destruction to get back to my former glory, trying to break my sand limits every day. I ain't have time to rest. The 300 Spartans needed me, all because of one reason. So let me take y'all back. So 5 months ago, I'm at Books A Million trying to hold myself back from buying the entire shelf of my favorite manga. Again, when I run into this cute Lating sitting down at the coffee shop reading a book. We're not gonna use her real name, we're just gonna call her Sasha. I'm like, golly, I'm trying to see what's up with Shawty. That's when my anxiety start going bazoingas, cause I knew this was an S-rank side mission that I couldn't pass up. So I go to the bathroom and activate my Rizzagon just to gather up enough courage to talk to this woman. Shoot, I even added some extra bumps to make sure this side quest wasn't in vain, cause failure was not an option. So I walk up to her, raise her up a little bit, even though I was mad nervous. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought rejection was around the corner. But crazy enough, she started flirting back. which caught me kind of off guard because I didn't know she found Ninja Turtles attractive. I'm like, hey, you trying to get a smoothie together? Don't worry, it's on me. She like, sure. She stand up. She towering over me, looking like a sexy iron giant. Like, shorty was tall. Plus, she was a sexy tone of muscular. I could already tell she go to the gym and was blessed by God himself with the BBL starter pack. Sasha really looked like she could choke slam me with her thighs. And I'd be okay with it, cause she was fine enough. Listen, I love my women built like an hourglass, thick in all the right places. But ever since I've been going to the gym consistently, I done added a new meal to the menu. I done garnered this sudden attraction to gym girls. Not like the super bodybuilder girls, but the ones that kind of look like this. Yeah, I'd let her Batista bomb me into a bed. Absolutely. For her, I'm a munch, I don't care. Fight me. In the past, when looking at women like that, I used to think, dang, I hope she don't suck me up and throw me through a wall. But now I'm like, dang, I'd let her suck me up and throw me through a wall. Shoot, I don't mind dating a street fighter anyway. If she looked good enough, I know Chun-Li can strangle me with just her thighs. But if she started flirting with me, then hey, you is one freaking motherfucker. So I'm thinking, you know, I don't do this often, but I don't mind potentially dating a swole giraffe built shawty. I ain't never had a problem with it, cause me personally, I don't climb trees. I chop them down. So we sit back down, chat it up. Before I left, I'm like, here, I'ma leave my number with you. It's up to you whether you wanna hit my line, baby, and I skedaddle. Personally, I ain't care enough if she'd hit my line or not, cause regardless, I did my thug thizzle. An hour later, she hit my line. Ooh wee, Morty, it's going down, big dog, it's going down. I ain't waste no time setting up a date, which was at DCU. The Crib University. So fast forward to our first date, which was an anime and chill session. As soon as she leave, I'm knocked out for about 5 hours because we stayed up very long. Bruh, tell me why I wake up to her setting up the next date. And guess where too? The gym of all places. My heart started doing jumping jacks because by this time around, I ain't touched a weight in a long time. And during our first date, I capped OD talking about I was in shape, but mama ain't raised no puss. So I took her up on her offer. Couldn't back down now anyway. I'm already deep into the water. And seeing as she was a gym rat, she was gonna find out sooner or later. She like, okay, cool. I get off my DoorDash job at 5 and need some time to get ready. So 6 all right with you? I'm like, sure, yeah, for surely. So I get to the gym, right? I see her standing in front of the building waiting on me, which was odd at first cause she could have been waiting inside. Like, come on, what's going on here? Whole time while I'm walking up to her, I'm keeping it cordial and I thought this was gonna be just a regular gym session, but oh boy, I really had no idea of the hell she was finna put me through. Her foot was going 300 miles per hour. This is how it went. Hey, you showed up. You ready? I was born ready. Push! Push! Let's go! Let's go! Move! Move! 10-second break, 10-second break! Push! Push! One more rep, one more rep. We have to push past our sand limits. Psych, we have no limits. Bro, when we got done, I was physically, mentally, and spiritually exhausted. My body was literally on the brink of destruction. I felt like Yusuke in that cave after trying to hold in every drop of Genkai's power. Sasha really put me through what my coaches back in high school put me through during football. Like, I didn't know if this was a gym date or a training session for the tournament of power. So she checked up on me. I told her I'm fine. Straight capping out my cranium. Boy, I felt like All Might after his fight with All For One. She walked back over to the workout area and I walk up to the front desk, parched. I asked for a water and next thing I know, bro, I felt like I was dying. I hit the counter, then the floor, the worker at the front desk, step in the name of help. He gave me some water to drink, which kept me somewhat conscious for like 3 minutes. This was the first time in my life where I didn't have 100% control of my body. I was at a good 20%. 3 minutes later, I managed to regain enough strength to move. The worker walked me to the bathroom. I get in the stall, didn't even take a dump. I just sat there in the stall, butt clenched, body slouched, with my mental and physical strength depleted, almost on the verge of passing out again. I sat there in that stall for about a good hour, thinking to myself, dang, I gotta get back in shape, cause this is ridiculous. I hope she don't want no finished product, cause I'm a work in progress. After that hour, I walk out the bathroom. She at the front of the store, waiting on me. I walk up to her. I'm like, what's obvious doesn't have to be explained. I know you capped. I can already tell. That's why I worked you so hard. I forgive you. Just don't do it again. Bro, for the next 3 months after that, I worked out like my life depended on it, and she was my motivation. Sadly though, during that time, she moved away and we slowly grew apart, leaving me to where I'm at today, working out just to stay fit, with myself as my #1 motivation. However, still don't work out every day. Instead, just a lot.
Hey, listen.
Hey, you fat. Bro, can you imagine being peak level physique, enjoying the fruits of your fitness labor, peak level strength, speed, stamina, able to stop a torpedo with your pecs alone? Then all of a sudden, you blink and you look like this.
Wait, no way.
All because you got complacent and lazy. Yep, that was me before 4 months ago, which was the start of my get beefy again arc. Cause before 4 months ago, in the span of 7 years, life popped my balloon and I've been deflating ever since. Why? Because I hated working out. Chat, each year, I felt it, watching myself slowly transition from Jiren to Fillmore. And I was okay with it, cause I hated working out. I hated working out so much that I fell in love more with hiding my newly attained flab than picking up and maintaining muscle. It was bad, y'all. I went from benching bars to burgers. That strength from playing sports in middle school and high school back then, 90% of it gone, even though I maintained some of my tone. You think I wanted to work out during them years? No, I did it because I had to. I used to be able to run up and down a basketball court for hours nonstop. Now, I can't even run across the street without getting tired. Should've moved out the way, lame man. I used to be able to bench press 300 plus pounds. Now I can't even bring a full set of grocery bags in the house in one go. My nigga, I used to be able to touch the rim of a basketball goal. Now I can't even jump to the top of the fridge without my stamina egregiously tanking. And what made it worse was I had a poor diet. So you know, without a care for my health, I smacked down on some greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, chicken, you name it. It was bad. And it didn't help that I'm 5'6" with a baby face and unconnected beard. That actually added fuel to the fire. Like in the back of my mind, chat, I knew I needed to build my man meat back up and go harder on this beard, cause I started looking like a damn kid again, bruh. Don't let me walk into your school. You might think I got 5th period in 30 minutes. A teacher probably gonna be like, young man, where's your hall pass? Lady, we are the same age. Now leave my presence, you long-titted, no-nipple. I avoided the gym for 4 years straight. Up until one day, 3 years ago in 2021, I decided to start working out again because I got traumatized. Whoa, Devonte, how'd you get traumatized? That day, I pulled up to the gym. I went straight to the locker room to remind myself of how much of a lazy bastard I was so I can be motivated to pump that iron. I'm in there for about 3 minutes. Next thing I know, somebody walks in. I look back, it's a guy I went to high school with. I ain't seen him in literal years. He ain't even say hi. All I heard was, Devonte? Damn, you got small. What happened? Had me shooketh. Nigga trapped me in an infinite Tsukiyomi of embarrassment. Bruh, I was so heavy in thought that Thor couldn't pick me up. I ain't even work out that day. I just went home in silence. My mom was doing backflips, crunches, pull-ups, sit-ups, cartwheels, whatever you could think of. Bruh had me thinking about the decisions I made up to this point in my life and how I let myself go that whole night. I had zero motivation. To the next day, while drowning in my self-pity and sorrow, like the pathetic worm I was, I ran into this dude named David Goggins. And you know what this motherfucker told me?
What the hell were y'all waiting for to start attacking life? Waiting for the stars to align? Back when I was growing up, the song came out. All I need is a miracle. Well, guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now with changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. In the military, we had this big old rucksack on the back. Had batteries, water, extra gear. Your extra gear is the shit you're dealing with in life. And the only way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it. You have to do your best work when you're least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta suck it the f up and do it. Stay hard.
Had me shooketh. In a good way. He reminded me of the days I was watching Eric Thomas all the time for motivation a couple years ago. Really had me thinking. So I watched another video.
You're not afraid of having the f***ed up body. You're afraid of the f***ing effort. See, what you don't understand is this. We're all being tested. And that road to success is a bumpy ass f***ing road. Has f***ing potholes, nails, detours and
He was raw, real direct and unfiltered, super masculine and extremely confident. Bruh didn't sugarcoat nothing, so I know for sure Starbucks would have fired his ass. He really made me realize how much of a gummy bear I was and forced my spirit to take accountability for my own actions with his motivational words alone. So you know what? I got off my ass and got busy. Sometimes.
Got him!
Yeah, I ain't really do much. Hey, say what you want, but something's better than nothing. I ain't lock in fully, but at least the key was still in my pocket. Like, bruh, Superman ain't get his powers in a day, all right? Every day after that for the next year, I slowly started working out more and more. Me and the gym was toxic. We had an on and off relationship because I still struggled with my hatred for working out because of my laziness. And stopping wasn't an option because you know what they say. To get something you never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. Like getting my lazy ass up and going to the gym consistently. I was trying to find little ways to motivate me to continue to keep working out. You know, stuff like, what if my wife gets mangled by a bear? I need to be able to throw that bear through a freaking food truck. Or what if my daughter's 6'7", 280-pound boyfriend gets froggy and tries to jump? I need to be able to throw that doofus through a mountain. Or what if my son needs somebody to beat up his bully at school? Shoot, that won't be hard because I can blend in just fine. These hands rated B for bully, my nigga. The whole get stronger from my future family motivation thing wasn't working, so I decided to go down the I want to look in the mirror and not vomit route. Hell, I got tired of trying to hide my flab during beach vacations anyway, so this had me motivated for a while. I was constantly reminding myself of where I wanted to be visually, you know, really tapping into my physical attribute desires I wanted for myself. You know, stuff like, when I take my shirt off, I want to be the reason your auntie come outside to check the mailbox every 5 minutes. When I put my shirt on, I want to see my veins gasping for air because my shirt too tight. I want to be able to cut glass with my jaw and surfboard with my abs. And you know what? This method, it was good, but not good enough. Something was missing. Like, both of those methods wasn't enough motivation for me to rigorously work out, like really go hard in the paint and stay consistent with it. So, to keep it $1.25 with y'all, I folded.
You what?
Hell no, man.
What the is wrong with you?
For the next 2 years, as far as I can remember, bruh, the only weight I lifted was the stress off my shoulders. The only push-up I did was to get out my bed. The only cardio I did was dancing in the shower. All my motivation gone. All the way up until sometime in 2024, 4 months ago, when I took a trip to South Africa. The start of my Get Beefy Again arc. Now, you're probably thinking, Devonte, Mello, what caused this to spark up? Because you said those 2 previous methods not working caused you to fall into a deep abyss of complacency, procrastination, and laziness. Well, viewer, in the very first week of me being there, I lived with people. And those same people on the first day forced me to get my lazy ass up and go to the gym because before I came, I told myself I would try and go consistently once I got there after so long, so they wanted to make sure I made that happen because they knew I'd procrastinate. I get to the gym, still zero motivation to lift any weights. I pretty much made up in my mind that I'ma just go through the motions and maybe some spark of motivation will happen. Soon as I walk inside, it was amazing! Tiny waist, nice hips, thick thighs, nice racks, bubble butts, flat stomachs. Their faces wasn't as beautiful as the American women or say like the Dominican Republic, but everywhere I turned my head, my type was there. Body-wise.
Got him!
And mind you, I notice damn near everything, damn near all the time. I'm very socially aware, physically aware, etc., and the list goes on. Don't let these videos where I speak and act like I don't know what's going on fool you. I got Hawkeye vision when it comes to the women I deem fine. And I'm allergic to BS, so I also got that internal scouter when it comes to examining somebody's character. Anywho, all of a sudden, when I seen this, it's like uncontrollably the laziness left my body instantly. Chat, that's the most motivated, focused, and determined I've ever felt in my life. Bro, I literally sat there at the chess machine in shock. Silent, not a word. Deep in thought as to why this was the case. I realized my greatest motivation was not looking good for myself, not staying fit so my knees won't crack when I turn 30 in 5 years. No, it was women. Yes. I love me some women. I love being desired by them. I love their femininity that comes with them if they display it. I love the support if they lend it. I love the sculpture of some of their bodies and the beauty some of them possess. I love how their differences from a man complement the man, and the list goes on. You know, I used to think my homeboys were crazy for saying women in the gym gives them a Zenkai boost when they work out, cause I thought it would be a distraction. But I realized that was just me giving into my own lack of self-control. Now, I've joined the Scout Regiment, and Titans ain't the only thing I'm trying to slay. Ain't nothing like seeing some natural all-around tiny waist, wide hip, nice rack, flat stomach, hourglass shape, bubble butt beauty. Why does that sound like a P-Hub search category? In every direction while you work out. And even better, having the chance to shoot your shot at them mid-workout or post-workout. Ooh wee, mama. Now, in order for me to fulfill my desire of attaining me a wife with the player build I'd like her to have, I had to take accountability for my own actions and be realistic with myself. If I want a woman like that, my physical type, then I can't look like this. I gotta match her sexiness so she can feel the same way about looking at me that I feel about looking at her. I can't want Miss Incredible when I look like Incrediboy. It don't work like that, slime. So I did the obvious and just fused the two methods I did before with this new one into a simple mindset. If I want my future wife to look good, I have to look good. So work out to please myself and my future wife so we can both break the looks barrier to get to the what's your mind like phase. That's the goal. Be fit and confident in my body and be attractive to women. When I take off my shirt, I want it to look like a damn R. Kelly concert. Wait a minute. When I walk in the room, I want a woman's mouth to drop and look like Niagara Falls. When I walk past the girl, I want to be the one to pay her neck medical bills. And this is what drove me to get up 6 days a week and hit the gym while in South Africa. For the rest of my time there, I was slanging iron vigorously and consistently. I could feel Himothy aura coursing through my veins because I was gaining my muscle and tone back. My nigga, I felt it. Me going from scrawny all might to beefy all might. A girl I FaceTime noticed, the people I live with noticed, I noticed, it was glorious. Even though I took a bunch of L's with the women I wanted that were my type, but it's fine because I was taking a good amount of W's too. Video coming on that soon. Bruh, I was finally able to look myself in the mirror and not want to vomit anymore. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever watched the anime Yu Yu Hakusho before, but in the beginning, I felt like Yusuke when he first took off his energy cuffs that restrained his power. Then at the end of my second time in South Africa, I felt like Deku when he finished all his training on my Timbs, cuz. When I left South Africa, I took that same mindset with me back to the States. So, yay, I'm not a lazy, flabby, procrastinate tard anymore. Woo, yeah. All right, I'm gonna head out.
Hey, listen.
All right, y'all, so back in elementary school when I was 10, I was the nicest person you'll ever meet. But back then, I also had a very short temper. If I felt provoked in the slightest, then I'm slapping the tongue out your mouth with maximum efficiency. Yeah, I might get folded in the process, but at least I knew I had you speaking in cursive afterwards. I think one of the reasons why I had this temper problem is because I had to fight for my life at school every day. Like, I never understood why I was this primary target for character development, but I was forced to throw hands even when I ain't want to. Like, bro, leave me alone. This ain't Baki. Why y'all always want to throw hands on me when I ain't even do nothing to y'all? I can't never just sit in the back of the class, eat my little sour straws, and draw Mega Man in peace. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I was smaller than everybody, or maybe they just wanted to take advantage of the fact that I was too nice. But I know one thing I know for sure. Going through this almost every day put me in a mixing mood, big fella. And for some reason, they always used to get pissed at me when I would retaliate. Like, don't get mad at me because my power level rose every day. Y'all made me a menace, not me. Y'all gotta understand, I grew up in the dirty South, man. All we knew how to do was fight and watch football and fuck our cousins. We don't do that. That's white people shit.
What the is wrong with you?
So there was this douchebag at the time that I didn't become cool with until I got to high school. We're not gonna use his real name, we're gonna call him Uzi. Not this dude, but my Uzi. That's the nickname we gave him. Not gonna say why. That's for us that went to school with him to know and you to find out.
What was the reason? What was the reason?
See, I may have been a menace that might have been to society when provoked and pissed off, but this boy was an actual menace to society. At every opportunity, he went for the easiest target, which was usually somebody smaller than him, and he dared them to do something about it. And don't catch him on his days where he absolutely does not care. He would beef with anything for no reason. Like, I'm pretty sure if he saw a cute, adorable little puppy that just wanted to be petted, minding its own business, I'm pretty sure he would just politely punch him in his shoe. Like, dude, not Scooby. Bro just wanted a snack. There was this one time when I had first moved into town and it was my first time on the bus. And this was before my character development arc started. So I was very naive when it came to how twisted people can be. Cause at my old school, I ain't had these problems. I had a pretty normal experience. So I thought everyone in the world was just that way too. So I was openly nice with everybody. Plus, I was the new guy there. So I ain't know who to watch out for. I get on the bus, I head to the only seat that was open, which happened to be right across from Uzi. I get out my sketch pad, which had all of my drawings in it, and I started drawing, you know, minding my own business. See, I was a passionate artist. Each drawing was like my child. Some of my most prized possessions in that sketch pad were my Sonic the Hedgehog OCs. And I was pretty freaking good at drawing them too, cause Sonic was my childhood hero. I played all the games, watched all the shows, attempted to read all of the comics when I had the chance. I even changed my subconscious voice to Sonic. Dewey. Listen to all the soundtracks from each game, even to this day. Even made my own original storylines for my Sonic OCs. In my eyes, Sonic could do no wrong. Well, I mean, except for when they changed his voice. That actually pissed me off. I don't care what nobody says. Jason Griffith was and is the best Sonic voice of all time. Bring him back! Okay. I'm getting off a subject. Just wanted to point that out.
Bruh, shut your bitch.
So I'm sitting there drawing, right? Everybody around me looking in awe of these masterpieces I was making. They like, oh, ooh, praising me for my art. Everybody like, yo, can I see it? I'm like, sure, of course. At this point, I'm passing around my art for people to look at like it's freaking candy. Next thing I know, Uzi look at me, he like, yo, you like a artist or something? Obviously. Yeah. Mind if I see the book so I can flip through the pages? I'm like, sure, of course. Soon as I hand him the book. Thanks. This mine now. Excuse me? Did I stutter? You not getting these back? Thanks. Dude, give me my drawings back. You mean my drawings? Like, get out of my face. I can't make this up. Before he even finished his sentence, I ain't asked no questions, I ain't beg, I ain't tucked my tail. I looked up to God, looked back down. Mink, mink. My fist just unconsciously connected with his face at the speed of light. Like, bro, it was insane. Before this, I ain't never felt anger like this in my life. This wasn't no regular anger. This was that tear dropping down the face type of anger. Buddy crossed the line with the wrong dude. I just wanted to get my stuff back by any means necessary. And the more he kept telling me no, I ain't getting my stuff back, the more pissed off I got. My fist had a mind of its own. Meek meek. Mookie Mop Meek, mama, what you pack me for lunch? Without any thought of repercussions, cause it was my prized possession, which I had an emotional attachment to. So you know, I was livid, big fella. Like, y'all ever had something taken and forcefully held back from you? Especially if you had an emotional attachment to it? This must be how Kanye felt, bruh. It ain't a good feeling at all, cause you're very territorial about whatever that thing is. Like, that experience leaves you feeling violated, and this was the first time someone ever violated me like that. Yeah, sure, I know now that you should always control your anger and think before you do something, but understand that people don't think clearly when their emotions are running wild. So when I got furious, I blacked out. So my first instinct was to hit first, ask questions later. I wanted smoke. And only the smoke. All them teachings my folks taught me growing up about never hit first, let them hit you first, and then wake up Chris Breezy, I threw that out the window. And what makes matters worse is the bus driver didn't even acknowledge our fight. Like, he didn't stop the bus to stop the fight. He just looked at us two like, oh, just two black on black crime. Proceed. Which made me even more pissed off. So after like 3 minutes of throwing hands, I eventually got my sketch pad back. Don't get me wrong, neither of us won. It was a draw, but right afterwards, old white man stopped the bus. He's like, I'm finna write both of you up and get you off my bus. I'm like, why me though? He stole my art. What you wanted me to do? Be a good boy and let him take it? You saw the whole thing and kept driving. You should have parked and came to stop the fight. You worried about the wrong destination. Uzi just looked forward and was smiling like a little evil prick. Bus driver's like, our school has a zero tolerance policy. All altercations will result in a write-up, sending you to alternative school. If there was a problem, you should have came up there and told me. I'm like, dude, you was watching the whole time. You seen what happened. You seen I was getting angry. You seen the problem, but you did nothing. He just walk away. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm like, what the fudge? Bro, I'm just trying to go home and eat some oatmeal and watch Chalk Zone, dog. Golly.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Hey, listen.
All right, y'all. Hold on. Let me finish these chicken wings real quick. These whole smack. All right, y'all. So this is a remastered version of a video that I made a very, very, very long time ago that y'all probably didn't see or probably did see. I ain't like it myself, so I went outside. I chucked that hole to the birds. So with that being said, y'all know out of anybody, if you've been watching me for the longest time, that I've done a lot of stupid shit growing up. Swallowing poisonous coins, going to a college party smelling like straight Baduzzi because I forgot my deodorant, getting fired from my job after faking like I was sick so I could leave and get that Twister Wizard cinnamon roll washing machine neck or nothing treatment from my little yeah at the time. And the list goes on. Now, one of those things in particular that I did that was stupid big bad got me the worst whooping I have ever got in my life when I was a kid. I remember that mug like it was yesterday. I was 9 years old. I was sitting on the couch one day and I was watching Punk'd. If you a 90s baby or early 2000s kid, then you know what I'm saying, you know what that show is. Anywho, so I was sitting on the couch watching that on the big TV. Back then we didn't have like skinny TVs. We had like the big fat TVs with the donks on them, you know? I wouldn't be surprised if the TV started twerking, bruh. Bang, 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 bang. Reload. Back then I was very impressionable. That means I was easily influenced. So after watching Punk'd, you know, they do a lot of pranks on that show, I decided, maybe I could do the same thing, you know? It would be pretty cool, pretty fun. Problem is though, I did it on the wrong people. I decided to do it on my black, strict, old school parents. Like, you could have did it on your brother. You could have did it on your sister. Shoot, you could have did it on somebody like the neighbors or something. But you decided to do it on the same people that can take away your games, take away your dignity, take away your pride, take away everything. The elaborate prank that my 9-year-old brain had back then was to call the cops and hang up. Like, I don't know what I was smoking back then, but I might need some of that now, because you're not even pranking your parents, fool. You're pranking yourself at that point, and you're gonna get in trouble for it, so it's a double-edged sword. Like, I didn't even think that through. Why did you not? Stupid. That night, my dad was at work. My mom was in the kitchen making food. So I found this the right opportunity to go ahead and start the operation. So I peek around the corner. I see mom in the kitchen, getting down, whipping that chicken, putting the foot in the grits. I'm like, she's distracted. Time for the Cobra to strike. So I go sneak the house phone into my room. And just know I had zero knowledge about phones back then, because like, we had a house phone. A house phone. 2, in fact. If you know, you know. My whole thought process of this was, okay, I'm gonna get the phone and then I'm gonna call the cops, hang up immediately. I just wanted to see what would happen. I thought the call wouldn't even go through if I called a number and hang up in a matter of milliseconds. That's why I was so confident in this whole operation. I thought I would get out scotch-free just for the simple fact that I really thought in my brain that the call wouldn't even go through. Now this is where she get wicked. Yeah. So I'm back in my room. I get the phone. I dial 911. I hang up immediately. Now we wait. 5 minutes later, the phone rings again. And literally milliseconds before I can answer the phone, guess who picks up? The minute my mama picked up that phone, I knew it was game over, because I forgot we have 2 house phones. So that means when anybody called our house, both phones would ring. When that phone rang and I saw that the phone got picked up somewhere else, bro, I swear my heart left this planet. So I hit the dizzy dash to the living room, right? I peek around the corner. I see my mom in the kitchen. She talking to the cops. They like,
ma'am, is everything all right? We just got a call from this address not too long ago, and we just wanted to see if everything was all right.
no, I think you've made a mistake.
Oh shit!
My mama put the pieces of the puzzle together so fast, bruh. She hang up the phone. She turn around. She spot me. She like, I'm telling your father. Dang, mama, you are out now. I can't even go back to Grove Street. My dad gonna be on the block looking for me. Because of you, my GTA stars went from 1 to 5. I don't think y'all understand. I lived in a household where my mom didn't really have an effect on me when she was punishing me. So when she knew her punishments wouldn't get through to me, she would call my dad for backup. Cause she knew he would finish the job. I'm over here crying and pleading to her, mama, please, don't tell dad, blah, 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 blah. That shit didn't work. Cause she was like, you finna get mixed up as soon as your father get home. He gonna show you what I packed him for lunch. Beltables. So I hit the dizzy dash back to the room, right? I'm crying all night. I'm thinking to myself like, oh, it's over with life, I'm gone. Cause like, dog, my mama whoopings did not hurt. My dad's did. You gotta understand, this man was All Might, the black version. The man was big buddy, big buddy, big buddy. Mans was really built like a Baki character. Being a 9-year-old back then, that nigga was scary. So with all the fear running through my veins that entire night, after I woke up in the morning the next day, I came up with an elaborate scheme to try to let the situation simmer down into something by, you know, doing everything before he gets home in the morning, like cleaning up. I'm talking about spotless, everything, dishes, room, bathroom, went outside, cut the grass. I even thought about going next door and walking the neighbor's dog. Man, it was so clean, I even let the cockroaches roam free. I even thought about going outside and washing the car. That's how bad I did not want to get that punishment. I did all that and more so that maybe, just maybe, he'll have a change of heart. I get all that done. I hop in the tub. I'm ducking down like it's warfare. I don't know what's gonna happen. Next thing I know, 10 minutes later, I hear a car pull up. And then 2 minutes later, I hear the door open. And then 30 seconds later, I hear the door go boom. You already know who it is. And you know what that means. All that cleaning up, all that hoping was in vain. You know what happened next.
Damn. He really about to rock my shit.
My brothers and sisters, what do you think when you see these 2 fingers? Special beam cannon? No, you mother... Get out of here, Gohan. All right, y'all. If you ain't innocent or lived under a rock your whole life, then you probably know what these 2 fingers do. If you don't, then shoot. I'll tell you a variety of things they do, my nigga. Hand people credit cards, reach in that spot in the car where you drop your phone, flick lima beans, wink wink, air quotations. And one of my favorites, ripping the skin off your neck. Not like actually ripping the skin off your neck, unless you motherfucking Wolverine, but when them 2 fingers get dragged across your neck at 200 miles per hour, that mug hurt. I got introduced to this punishment during my middle school years, and it lasted all the way up until my 11th grade year of high school, which is also the year I quit football. I ain't gonna lie, throwing balls around was the last thing I wanted to do after all them years of mental torture. Throwing balls around? Pause? The punishment was simple. If you said something stupid, give me my 2. Not only that, but if you ain't submit to the consequences of your said stupidity, then the current consequences would level up to the higher consequence, which was what I like to call the Fleece Johnson. We could do it the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. Yeah, that dude from the Boondocks, the Booty Warrior, who is an actual real person. To sum it up for the people having a slow moment right now, either you voluntarily bring your butt over there to let your punishers let it rip on your neck, or they gonna come get you now or after workouts. And when no running, your fate was sealed. And this only happened to niggas that they knew wasn't gonna throw no hands. I'm niggas. I remember my first time getting the punishment. It was not good. It happened one day during football training period in middle school. So there I was, minding my business. It was that little bit of time before a coach walks in where you couldn't tell if the room was full of rabid, wild middle schoolers or the zoo because of how chaotic it was. And even though I was minding my own business, you couldn't help but pay attention to the loudest people in the room, which happened to be this guy I've talked about in past videos before, where we're gonna call him AZ, and another guy named, we're gonna call him BJ. Now, I'm a loud nigga myself, but my loudness dwarfs in comparison to these 2 class clowns. See, Riri and Tard were slightly similar. AZ did things for attention and validation from others, probably because a little dickhead didn't get no loving at home. If nobody laughed or praised him for his accomplishments, then he'd try harder by using his size as an intimidation factor. And yes, he would physically harm you if he knew you wasn't gonna do nothing back. Which is crazy because he wouldn't dare think about picking on somebody who was ready to throw hands and words back. BJ, on the other hand, was just an annoying little dude that just wanted a reaction out of as many people as possible. And ain't care how he did it or who he did it to. He was one of them people who'd say the craziest thing to anybody just to see if he could control you. And depending on how you'd respond, he'd back up or keep going. Little dude had his observation hockey on 24/7. Bruh, they both were on minutes timing 25/8. Literally all the time. So I'm hearing them both in that big old group of dudes cutting up, roasting each other, acting like they were the top dogs of the school, which at the time, I ain't gonna lie, that's where I wanted to be. Trying to be like the quote unquote cool guys. You know, the folks that be the most quote unquote popular in school, but peak in high school and eventually end up being more of a loser in their adulthood than they already were in high school. Bro, don't look at me like that. You know, everybody wanted to be him in high school. Shoot, I don't care. I was an outcast most of my life. So when I got to middle school, that was my top priority, to be quote unquote popular, because of all the neglect I experienced from outside of my home. And even then, I was still an outcast up until my high school graduation. So with this mindset I had back then, the coonery pulled me in. I'm creeping up, listening to what's being said, ended up acting like my presence and input was wanted. So I made a joke that made absolutely no sense. Had everybody looking at me crazy. In my head, I thought I ate, had my brain doing the Dougie and the two-step. Really thought I was Bernie Mac. And this was when I realized I should never do stand-up, because I ain't hear a laugh, I heard give me my two. I'm sitting there like, what you mean by that? He tell me, don't ask, come find out. Mind you, everybody in the room watching as if this was normal, like this was a freaking tradition. Not a soul in there thought this was a bad thing. Like that ain't do nothing but get my anxiety up even more than it already was. But mama ain't raised no hoe. So being the hard gangster I was, I did what any stand-up, chest out, 10-toed soldier would do. I looked him in his eyes and said, okay. Folded like a hoe. I walked over there and submitted like a pussy, bruh. Tilted my neck over ready for this nigga's fingers to Zenitsu Godspeed my skin, boy. I felt like I was in prison, bruh. And I ain't ever been there before. You know how embarrassing it would be if school had a judge and a dude was like, you have been sentenced to the neck. And a big motherfucker walk out with 2 fingers like, bro, what? All I know is me now at 23, almost 24 this year, could never. They would have freaked around and found out.